Anybody here yet?
No. Just us.
Just us. I'm going to try to find it on my computer too. That way, I'm try to keep up.
Oh, hey Jen. Hey Lindsay.
What's up, Jim? What's up, Lindsay? Ooh, I'm glad we did take a second because I forgot to do this too.
Amateur.
I know. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it on here. I know I can. I'll figure it out as we go on. Anyway, hey all you cool cats and kittens. Welcome to the Turn Left Podcast with Carol Baskins.
Hey Hollywood.
What is up, everybody? Give me a second as usual to pull up my other screen, but this episode 6 is sponsored by Sarah K. Speed Shots. As usual, I'm going to try to give you a couple shout outs just in case not that many people are watching at the beginning. It's also about 52 degrees out here, so I'm freezing. I might have to get a hoodie in the middle.
Yeah,
I've got
it's
the heat.
a little chilly in here.
Yeah, I've got the heat literally blowing on me, but I'm freezing. Yeah, I actually didn't even write up a part for it, but yeah. I think I did do that, yeah. Anyway, I don't want to talk about quarantine, corona, nothing too long, but we are going to start out with it, get it out of the way. And hopefully not that many people are watching yet, but I heard something interesting the other day. I was listening to something that said that with the coronavirus and with the quarantine, with the possible recession, that alcoholism, drug issues, all that kind of stuff could be on the rise. So I hadn't really thought about that. I, still go to work every day, so I still buy the same amount of beers every day. So it really hasn't affected me, but I don't know, I guess people staying home. I mean, before any of this started, I think that, Big Farm is probably the biggest epidemic in our country before that anyway, in my opinion. I mean, just everybody on pills and stuff, and they're all prescribed. And I think there's places in California where you can even, it's pretty much just like a place where you can just go and get pills, and it's like a doctor that gives them to you, but there's no checkout, nothing. It's just a pill pickup place. So it's insane.
I mean, I know that, especially in my line of work, a big concern when the schools closed were the safety of our students, because for a lot of kids, school is their safe place, and that's where they get their warm meals. That's why the county hasn't shut down completely, is because they need to be able to get access to food, and it's also kind of a way for them
their parents, yeah.
Right, it's a way for them to put eyes on students to make sure that they're safe, because some homes aren't safe for those kids.
Yeah, well, and that's a kind of a double back. For one, the parents that couldn't handle their kids while they're going to public school, whatever, now they got to deal with them all the time. Oh my God. You know what I mean? Like, if you couldn't handle your kid when they go to school, now you got them all the time, that's not a good situation. But double back to, I guess, the alcoholism, drug use on the rise, potentially. I don't think there's any studies on this, and we're not studying any of this kind of stuff yet, and this is all just bro science anyway, but I'm just saying that I heard something about it, and it did bring up a good topic. Is would that be possible? Is that maybe going to be a potential extended problem to where now the big farm issue, or even just alcohol issue, whatever, gets worse? I don't know.
Well, I mean, why do you think ABC stores are essential?
Well, that's true, and a lot of people refuse to do big farm or go to doctors, so they kind of
they self-medicate with alcohol.
Yeah, so it's kind of a same thing. But like I said, the pill situation, or I guess the alcohol situation, mostly the pill situation, because it's kind of run by doctors and big farm, that epidemic was totally separate from this new pandemic. But now they're potentially crossing paths, and hadn't really thought about it because, like I said, my life has changed, but not that much because I still go to work every day. So I still, like I said, buy the same amount of beers per week. I never really thought about that. But people staying home more and I guess bored or down on their luck. I don't know.
Just idle hands.
Yeah, so that's something. The next thing, what?
Oh, so, and I'm totally like stealing this bit from my favorite radio show, but we want to know what you did during quarantine that you've never done before. So quarantine made me do it. What are you doing today, or what have you done since you've been stuck at home that you would never ever do?
Yeah, what quarantine made me do it story do you have that?
TJ says, dude, I've been hammering way more beer, and I still have to go to work.
TJ, you've been cutting down trees and getting sheds and stuff like that. That's two different variables that we're not adding into that.
And some of that's celebratory beer, because
that's what I'm saying. Because trees and ooh yeah, TJ's having a baby. Congrats to TJ. If anybody didn't know, they're having an offspring. We don't know the gender. We never will because they're gonna wait, and everybody hates them for it. I'm just kidding, guys. I hate you for it though. Oh, I went to a retirement home the other day, which was weird enough because even on my dispatch it said we will be checking your temperature, asking you all kinds of questions, your sexuality. I'm just kidding. They're going to survey you, temp you, all this kind of stuff before you even go in. So I was even masked up, and gloved up. But they had like a laser. They just shine it in between your eyes like Men in Black, and it tells them the temperature. And I was a slick 98.4, so everything was good. Right now I'm about 91.6 because of the temperature out here, and I'm shivering literally. But anyway, so that was all good. But
yeah, my email's been blowing up with like stuff from my doctor, or like anywhere that I have like any type of appointment with. They're like, you need to wear a mask, you need to do this.
Yeah, and I think
to be prepared.
I guess it's not a bad idea. It's just I always thought about those. At first I thought those people were just like
being dramatic.
Yeah, just really, really paranoid. And now it makes sense. I mean, obviously going in a retirement home, it wasn't the Henrico retirement home, but I'm just saying this Virginia stuff. If anybody's watching from out of town, if anybody's from watching out of town, let me know. I'm curious about that. Leave it in the comment section just right now. But oh yeah, that's what it was. So they checked my temperature with this laser thing. She just put it up right to my forehead and just it was really weird. But didn't even know you could do that. And we want one of those. That'd be awesome for kids. I mean, just
awesome.
Be able to do that instead of trying to probe their ear. I went to my buddy's house when I was a kid. I think I was like 14, and his little brother was feeling a little under the weather. So his parents got his temperature with a rectal thermometer. And he wasn't that young. This wasn't a baby brother. This was
like a close in age, like a peer sibling.
Yeah, I mean, it was his younger brother. We were 14. I think he was 15, but it was like, that was probably the weirdest shit I'd ever seen in my life.
God.
I'm like, what? They were like, and of course he was like, yeah, they don't ever do that to me, but when my little brothers get sick, I'm like, okay. But anyway,
that's sketchy.
Yeah, don't get sick over that kid's house. But I thought, like I said, that was, my mom, I'm from 3 brothers too, my mom would never even think about trying that. No. And I don't know if my brothers right now are watching, but they know damn well we'll be sick. We don't care. That's not happening. You're not even pulling down my pants. Even when we were little kids, you had to spank us with the pants up. You're not pulling down my pants, dude. I will fight to the death for that.
Hollywood said, you don't have a temp gun for tires?
I got a laser jank back in the day. I lost it, but no, we don't do none of that, dude. That's the upper divisions.
Well, maybe we need to invest in one of those to take temperatures.
No, we don't need that shit. So anyway, yeah, don't get sick over that kid's house. That's all I'm saying. Let's get back to our roots a little bit with racing. Ooh, I forgot to mention this. I feel like my meme is going to be, ooh, that's what I always say when I forget something that I remember it. I meant to mention it last time, but okay. So when the first night I ever did this, episode 0 technically, I talked about some of the decorations and how I take them out the box because I don't give a shit, blah, 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 I'm a badass. But I didn't obviously take these 2 out the box. So then I was like trying to be extra badass, I'll take them out the box. This is a Kyle Busch signed confetti Texas race winner, blah, blah, blah. I didn't even realize it was signed actually until I took it out of the box. car that I just thought was really badass. He got it from some chick. He's the same guy that gave me that signed helmet. Shout out to Josh Revis. So anyway, I pulled this thing out of the box.
I told you not to.
But I'm glad I did. The box was already jacked by the time I got to it. I think Josh flipped one of his vehicles on the way home like he always does or something. Broke down into a ravine. But, so I pulled this bad boy out of the box. I don't mean to take too much time for this, but 2 things happened. 3 things happened. It's got the confetti all over the car, which I realized that. I didn't realize, actually Megan told me this, the confetti all over the car is in the shape of Texas. They're little Texas confettis. It's signed by Kyle Busch on the windshield. Comes with a NASCAR winner sticker. Can you believe that? I couldn't, but it gets way cooler. Hold on. Comes with a little Ziploc baggie of some of the actual confetti that was on his car with like a certificate. So like I said, box is in absolute trash condition, so I'm not sure if, which is partly my fault too, because I think Amelia power slammed it into the ground a couple times before I got it up on the shelf or something. But either way, it was so cool. Then I took it out of the box, and it got so much cooler, and then I got scared, and now, obviously, we're putting it back in the box. For like, this is the 3rd time I've told the story, because I'm so excited about it, but, oh, shit.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. I'm glad I didn't drop the F-bomb, but either way.
Kyle probably says, my dude.
Yeah, dude. Texas
Fuller?
shaped. Any of you Kyle Busch haters, don't sign off, but just don't even watch this part, because I got his confetti literally straight up in here, dude. So shout out again to Josh Revis, dude. That he didn't appreciate it at all, which I don't blame him, and I didn't either until I realized all that. Dude, it's got actual confetti. It's gonna go right back up there. I was gonna take this Dale Earnhardt pop out of the box, but I figured from far away people would even know what it was without seeing the pop thing on there. So
Yeah, I think with just you tonight, they can't really hardly see it at all anyway.
well, I even meant a couple episodes ago, but I never did it. I still haven't found my one here, but anyway, I don't remember even what I was supposed to talk about after that, but. We were supposed to get back to racing, then I got excited about the decoration that I never got around to before, so. Does anybody say anything? Or I asked earlier, too, if anybody was watching out of town. Has anybody said anything like that?
Nobody's from out of town.
Wow. Somebody share this. Like it. Go ahead and like it. I feel like a YouTuber that doesn't even have a YouTube channel. I actually
Hollywood
do have one.
says
But...
they're sitting by the bonfire watching and they're not cold.
Oh,
So
that sounds good.
you're a bitch.
They say that?
No, I just added that off.
Oh my god, dude, you're so fired. Oh, we had a discussion earlier. Do we have a mechanic that knows the answer to this? I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this after watching NASCAR, but when I was a kid, up until I was probably 25 years old even, maybe
I was
20.
Say, I really feel like I learned this information from you in the first place.
Really?
I'm like
That's even more embarrassing. But I didn't really think twice about it until I was in my 20s, I don't think. And I was bigger into NASCAR watching, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, so, I think it's always I don't know, some people say that cutting your car off and cutting it back on uses more gas than just letting it idle. Does everybody hear that or not? Or you heard it from me, maybe I heard it from, when I was a kid, and I'm pretty sure I literally just got this stuck in my head from a little time when I was a kid, and I was like in my mom's car in the passenger seat, and she was talking to her friend Cheryl for like way too long, and I'm in the passenger seat like, Mom, come on, the car's running, you know, we're wasting gas. And it wasn't even her, you know, she was like, all right, I'm coming. It was Cheryl, you know, snapped back like, don't you know, it uses more to cut it off and cut it back on, boy. And I don't think she had a clue.
Oh my god,
at
your
all.
impression.
That was a hard Cheryl impression. I hope she's not watching, but
Keep your day job.
yeah, she I think was literally, she had no idea and was literally I think just trying to shut me up, and it worked for, I think I was like 7 or 8. It worked for 12 years. I didn't never like question why my mom was standing outside for 20 minutes talking to her friend while the car was running. So then I watched NASCAR and I was like, oh well, then they're preserving fuel. They're cutting the car off and cutting it back on. So.
Bud says it's semi-true. I'm sure that it has to do with how long you're idling as well.
I thought it had something to do with fuel injection, but now NASCAR is fuel injected, and now they still stick to the same thing of cutting the car off and cutting it back on when they're preserving fuel. So let me know.
Hollywood says it depends on how long.
Well, Cheryl definitely didn't know how long. She was just cussing me out from right next to my mom and
Well,
giving
you were
it to me.
being a bratty little kid, so.
Yeah, I was a dick. But either way, she tricked me into thinking that kids are so gullible, dude. I believed that for like 12 years, dude.
Well, and I believed it up until today because
It
told
could even
me
be
and
true,
you're the
but like
car
it
expert.
doesn't matter. The point of the story is Cheryl didn't know. You know, fuck Cheryl. I'm just kidding.
Oh,
I'm sorry,
my
Cheryl.
God. Throwing an F-bomb really early in the night tonight.
Yeah, sorry.
Also, Lindsay says, doesn't your brother know how to hook you up with some heating and air in that studio, or even worse yourself?
No,
Yeah,
I've got heat. I'm warm now. I'm not shivering. It actually warmed up. I don't know if the thermostat is warmed up, and the thermostat's not hooked up to anything. I just have a thermostat on the wall that tells you what temperature it is in here.
for the record, guys, he's only warm now because he's got a dinky little space heater sitting next to him.
Yeah, blowing right at me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Fuller
what?
says you can come try out I'm assuming he's talking about iRacing.
Rig, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Fuller. How'd you do tonight? I didn't get to watch because I was setting up and I was talking to people and stuff. So I didn't watch the race. Who won the race? Fuller or Kyle Fowler? Somebody that was in the race. I think maybe Tanner, hopefully Chapman. I don't know. They were in the race last night. Let me know who won. I didn't get to tune into it. I saw Fuller had a video going for a while, but it was just a picture of him with his helmet and shit on, which is tight, but I want to know the standings and stuff. I want to see what's going on.
Ooh, Hollywood said, my dad always told me to turn the AC off before you turn the car off because more draw when you start it.
That does make sense.
Hey, Spanky.
That's also like you always turn off the air conditioner before you get in a drag race. You know?
I don't know that.
Yeah. Because that old Buick Regal I had air conditioning. You always turn that off.
Yeah, because that was a race car.
It kind of was.
Yeah, that car was pretty awesome. Bud wants to know what you think of the iRacing on Sundays.
I think that it's as good as it's going to get. I mean, I think I talked about this a little bit before on a different show, but you can't do it with any other sports. And in fact, I'm glad you asked me that question because everyone thinks NASCAR is easy. And I think Brad Keselowski said it best when he said, everybody thinks NASCAR is easy, but let's be honest, my daughter has the strength, to drive one of these cars. It's got power steering, it's got all that, so it's nothing to do with that, as opposed to, MMA or, baseball or football especially. It has nothing to do with that. And nobody really realizes that because everybody drives on the road every day, so everybody always thinks, oh, well, NASCAR is just driving fast, turning left. I can do that. Yeah, I go on right side exit ramps all the time. I'm sure I can do it the other way. Super easy. But I think now during quarantine, and I know that all my iRacing friends, I've never played, but all my iRacing friends are saying like, oh man, it's so saturated now with all these BS kids that, think that they can race, and BS people in general, not even kids. But I don't know. I know for one thing, I can usually always get on MLB video games, Madden video games, which granted I'm playing with a controller through the talent of, the little player that's on the screen. So that's not really a factor in NASCAR, but I'm pretty good at them. You can put most people on iRacing, they're going to do horrible. And I'm talking horrible. So everybody thinks they can drive a race car until they...
So they have a stimulator.
Well, I could get on iRacing and be horrible, you know what I mean? It's close as it can be, but, and I'm not saying that they don't even have a euchre class, they do have street stock, so I'd be interested to find out, but you're definitely not going to be... Nice, Fuller. I don't know. I'm not trying to talk smack about people that don't do well in iRacing. I'm just talking smack about how everybody thinks, if you ask most people, they think NASCAR is just turning left. Turn left podcast, shout out. And going fast, and that they could all do it if they wanted to, It's just so... And I thought that up until I was about 16 years old and got into a race car and, got lapped by my brother in, I think, 7 laps. So, and I had almost equal equipment. I mean, it's so ridiculous for anybody to even think, It'd be like for me saying because I can swing a bat and hit a baseball that I could probably stand up there on the plate in an MLB game and maybe have a chance. No. It's... Sorry I'm going on a rant. It's just, I know that y'all feel what I'm saying. I'm sure you've told people that you're a race car driver or something, some people watching, and, people are like, oh, that's cool, but, I could probably do that. Especially back in the street stock days when I had an automatic transmission. They're like, oh, you don't even shift gears. Like, Jesus Christ, dude.
Jack Dodson says hi.
What's up, Jack Dotson? I've been enjoying y'all's show. I need to maybe figure out what software y'all are using so I can maybe have some guests via internet now. Yes. I was the last live guest. I guess the Dirty Southside boy sent them into quarantine forever. Jesus, Jack. But I wouldn't mind joining y'all's show next week. Sorry to keep on cutting you off.
He also says Scott Allen can't do it either.
Can't do what? I
assume he was talking about iRacing.
Oh. Well, I don't know if I can or can't. I just, I don't, I spent all my money on this. So.
And Rodney Davis says he sucks at iRacing. But
Rodney Davis or Dave? Rodney Davis?
Yeah, that's what I was.
I thought you said, I don't know, I was confused with Ronnie Vance.
Rodney. Sorry. Rodney
You're
Davis.
good.
He says, but I think I can drive a U car.
Yeah, he can. He does enduro in any car or whatever they call it there and all kinds of stuff. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, and I think that video game players are going to be much better at it. Alex can drive a race car just fine, but he's not as good on the video game side because he just hasn't put in the time. By the time the video games got good, he already had kids. It's just a different ball game. So I don't know how. I think once you have a steering wheel and pedals and stuff, and you're playing iRacing, I think it should come back to if you're a good driver, you should be pretty good. But that's all me literally talking out of my ass. I have no idea. I've never even played iRacing, and literally, to be honest, I've never even been in the room while somebody's playing it live. I watch, some stuff on Facebook, which is cool. But.
So really, you're not an expert or anything like that. You're just kind of talking out your butt.
Oh yeah, bro science again. Like I have no idea. I'm just saying. One, somebody let me use their rig, Andrew Fuller, and two, everybody thinks it's easy and it's not. Just because you don't have to work out as much or whatever for it, doesn't mean that. And when people do work out, I mean, all the NASCAR drivers nowadays do work out. I was working out, dude. I finally got in the U cars. My leg. Because I sat closer to the pedal, the brake pedal especially, my leg got so cramped up and so tight, from having to hold my foot up, from pushing on the pedal, that for a couple of years I drove around with my leg lifted up while I was driving around at work, just training my leg to not get, cramped up and everything during that kind of time. So.
Megan says she'd run into every car on the racetrack, let alone be able to drive the car at all.
Megan, the intern, you run into every car out on the roadway going the speed limit. So yeah, I don't think that a racetrack would be a good scene for Megan.
She says, intern. I already practice racing when I'm on the highways. Yeah, Megan, that's why you've been in 97 car accidents.
Yeah, I want to say you need more practice, but in everybody's sake of safety, I want to say you need less practice, and she's probably just Uber from now on. But anyway. Have we gotten anybody out of town? No?
Mm-mm. Everybody's local.
As
far as I can see.
Weren't we talking about this earlier about how somebody was like, their kid's only 15. I don't know about leaving them home all day alone, during this time.
Dude.
Obviously the parents got to go to work, and the kid's 15. And they were like, I don't know about that. They should be at work by now. They should be an essential employee by now themselves. He's 15. You should be babysitting somebody else. You shouldn't be being worried about staying home by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, parents these days, dude. And granted, kids don't work nowadays, in high school. I'd say it's getting more and more rare. Even when I was in high school 10 years ago, I'd say that only 30% of people work.
I think that's kind of a broad statement to make. I wouldn't say that it was that low.
50% of people worked back then?
I think it depends on the demographic.
Well,
and who you're asking.
The only one we know is ours.
I'd say most of our friends worked in high school. I can't think of anybody, by junior and senior year, I can't think of anybody that didn't have even a low hour part-time job.
Yeah, but back to the point, this is a 15-year-old. We're talking freshman, sophomore, when you and I started working.
Yeah, but we were
so
lucky that we could walk to our job.
Let's say juniors and sophomores. I'd say the amount of juniors and sophomores working nowadays was very minimal. As opposed to back in our day, it was 25-30% of the kids when they were 14, 15, 16 had jobs already. All of us at the pool were 15-year-old lifeguards.
We were walking to the pool, to be fair, and it was a summer job.
I know. I'm just saying, we were definitely trusted at home.
You were?
Well, I know. I'm just saying. I mean, my mom went even home all the time, but she had out-of-town jobs and stuff, which is fine. But That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. I
but
was
so
15.
if you didn't have that pool job that you could literally walk to, you wouldn't have been able to work because you wouldn't have had transportation at 15.
And that's understandable, but I would still be trusted at home.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's my whole point. That some of these parents are like, oh, you know, I don't know about leaving my 15, 16-year-old at home all day. I'm like,
Oh yeah.
whatever they're going to do, they're going to do anyway. Whether
Kids,
it's
like-
while you're at work or while you're asleep or whatever, dude. Like, you better hope that you've raised them right by then, because they're going to be doing what they're going to be doing. I can tell you that much. Which sounds bad. I don't know. I mean, I've got a young daughter, but I just feel like by the time she's 15 or 16, like, and the way that the conversation was, like, I'm afraid she's going to burn the house down or something. I'm like, she's not 6. You know what I mean? Like, I was staying at home alone when I was 9 or 10. Not for the whole day, you know what I mean? But, like, a couple hours. Like, no big deal. Just don't cook anything.
Lindsay made a really good point. She was babysitting at 12, and so was I.
Exactly. That's what I meant to say earlier. Sorry, I got off track. But, yeah, by the time you're 15, if you're not working, you're usually babysitting other kids or something. And, or, like, walking dogs or whatever, like I did for a long time. Yeah,
well,
like,
yeah, I mean,
you're a responsible young adult starting
At
at
that
like
point,
age
yeah.
12 or 13. So if you can't be trusted at home after age 13, for one, the fact that you have to worry about that is not good.
I know parents that send their like 12 and 13-year-olds to like the Y for after school care because they can't even do like from when school gets out till when they get off work.
Yeah, what's going on, guys? Y'all tell me, because I mean, if you can't, like I said, trust your kid at 15 to be on their own, that just is ridiculous. My first job was sanctuaries. Well, my first technical job was sanctuaries at 13. It was the worst job ever. I'm not kidding, dude. It was literally a row of plants, like all 100 pounds. You literally had to walk down there, move every 100-pound plant 2 or 3 feet over. Took like 30 or 45 minutes to move all these plants over. They were all on a line. Then you'd take the lawnmower, you'd start it up for 45 seconds, mow this one line of grass where all of them were sitting where the grass couldn't get before. I mean, the cutter couldn't get before. You cut that one line of grass and move all of them back. 100 pounds isn't much, but for a 13-year-old, I think I prematurely blew my back, and I'm about to file an insurance claim through them next time I have back problems. Ooh, shout out to this koozie, breast cancer, I was going to say. I don't know what I was going to say. I guess shout out to the Save the Tatas, but what did he say?
Hollywood said he was working at his stepdad's warehouse at 13 running a forklift.
That's pretty serious.
That's a lot for a 13-year-old, to be honest. I don't know that I'd trust a 13-year-old.
Well, back then
with a
it wasn't.
forklift.
Nowadays it's like, you know, they can't even boil an egg, so I don't know what to think, you know, about that whole thing. But
Yeah, that's wild.
like I said, I mean, I was already walking dogs and stuff like that around the neighborhood. I didn't babysit. That would be weird, but I was walking dogs, and then I got the job at sanctuaries. Granted, it was only 2 or 3 days a week after school, but, and like I said, worst job ever. But, and then I broke my arm riding a dirt bike, and I had to, like, didn't have to quit. But, like, when they called me to come back after my arm was healed, I was like, oh, you know, I got a different job now. Thank God.
Gonna need to file for disability.
No. I don't think it would have worked like that. This place was like the Joe Exotic of sanctuaries.
Oh yeah, I remember that place.
Yeah, and kind of for real, I don't want to go too much into it. I hope neither one of them are watching, but I think I'm friends with them on Facebook, which would scare me, but it was a lesbian owner, and the manager was a straight woman, but they were tight.
Ronnie Davis was
Paying
working on a tobacco farm.
13-year-old workers under the table, you know, smoking meth. No, I didn't smoke any meth.
Okay, you're getting a little aggressive. This is
Sanctuaries,
on the internet.
yeah.
Remember that? You're like really.
Yeah, obviously I didn't do that, but this was out there. When I look back at this job, I'm like, this is a weird joint right here, you know. The fact they even hired me is weird. Like, and I think at the time you had to be 14 to work, and I was 13.
Yeah, it probably was illegal.
I think it was
you
under the table.
needed a permit, yeah.
And I also worked at, the pool, worked at Beef Brady's when I was like 15 or 16. Dude, I had remember when you used to get the chicken nuggets or the chicken strips at high school, and it was like you'd get the dark ones and they'd be nasty, or you'd get the fresh ones and they'd be like fresh and like lighter colored and they'd be good?
Ew. That's why I brought my lunch. I never ever bought my lunch.
Sometimes I did both.
So
I brought
gross.
it at 8 in the morning, and then I'd buy it, too. So you'd get like the fresh ones, and they were light colored. But if you got the ones that were old or like from the day before, they were always like a darker color. So when we were cooking chicken tenders and nuggets at Beef Brady's, I hope this doesn't incriminate myself, but I just thought it was a timed regimen. You're supposed to leave them in there for 12 minutes. I didn't know that these were raw nuggets, and raw chicken tenders. I thought they were pre-cooked like everything else that usually comes out of freezer, pre-made. But no. So I'd put them in for like 8. They look way better that way. They look like the good ones from school.
So you were sending out like medium rare chicken
nuggets?
No.
It only lasted about a quarter of a night. Okay.
So you sent out medium rare chicken nuggets?
Oh no, they were medium. No, they were medium. They were medium rare to rare.
Gross.
And yeah, that was a bad one.
That's disgusting.
I got to keep my job. But he was pissed. And not only that, but it was like almost like he didn't know who did it, and everybody was like, I don't know who did it, and I kind of tried to do that for a little while, and then I think a couple hours later he found out I did it. I was like, fuck. But I did play that game for a while. I was like, I don't know. But I knew exactly who did it.
I didn't cut
I
the
was just
fryer
like
off
a
halfway
15-year-old
through.
kid. No, pull him up out of the deep fryer. Yeah, like literally it was a time 10 or 12 minute thing. I remember I pulled up at like 6. I was like, those look like the good ones I've been eating at school. That'd be good.
The fact that you worked in a restaurant and judged your restaurant food based off of your lunch.
Well, when you're 15, that's what you do. So
gross.
Maybe 15-year-olds shouldn't be allowed to work in restaurants, but cutting grass, I think that'd be fine.
That's fair.
Did I ever talk about the UFC last week when Megan was here? John Jones?
Briefly, in between shotguns, I think, when you brought it up.
Jesus, yeah. The last shotguns ever on this podcast. But yeah,
No,
John
that's a
Jones,
lie.
he got arrested for a DWI the third time.
Yeah, you did.
Talk about
Yeah,
that.
you did bring that up.
All right, so since then, I think even when this episode 01 or whatever, I talked about Tony Ferguson, Khabib Nurmagomedov, this fight for the 5th time, supposed to happen. It's going to be the biggest thing. Oh my gosh, it can't get canceled again. That would be insane. It would be, cursed. It would be the 5th time. So it got canceled again, which not because UFC 249 got canceled, which it did. We'll talk about that later. But so Khabib got stuck in Russia. So then they were like, oh, we're still going to do UFC 249 on a private island that Dana White was going to buy or rent. They're going to do it. Private island fight or a Indian reservation fight, which is like no laws there. It's like international waters, apparently.
Yeah.
So they were going to do one of those two things.
That's wild, dude. I'm just going to buy this island so we can have this fight.
I think he's worth like $400 million. He can do whatever he wants. But, so anyway, that was all great, but then Khabib couldn't get out of Russia, which this is the big fight. Like, nobody cares about anything other than that fight. So then they were like, okay, we'll just do the highlight, Gaethje against Tony Ferguson, El Kukui, as they saw. But I was disappointed right away. Like, don't even just do the event if the main card is going to be switched up. Like, that's stupid. Justin Gaethje didn't have time to prepare. Tony Ferguson didn't have time to prepare for Justin Gaethje. Like, they're different style fighters, so I don't really know much about that, but I know that makes a difference. You've been preparing for this type of fighter. So I was just like thinking, don't do it, but then they scheduled it, had a big thing, and then 2 days later, now canceled that. So it's just such a shit show,
Wait,
dude.
but
I'm so
why
disappointed.
though? If they're
Apparently ESPN and Disney.
they wouldn't air it.
Yeah, I guess ESPN Fight Pass is where it's hosted now for pay-per-view, and I guess they would, which ESPN is now joined with Disney. So
Right.
Disney shut down UFC 249, which was already a shit show anyway, because they should have never done it. As soon as Khabib was stuck in Russia, just don't even do it. Don't say, oh, we're going to do Tony Ferguson Gaethje, get everybody excited, because they did have some good undercard fights, and then go, oh, never mind, we didn't talk that through with anybody, because we're not a multi-billion-dollar company, organization. I mean, it's fucking sloppy ass work, dude. Get your shit together, Dana White. And he didn't even own it now. Whoever owns it, but he's still the... I don't know, dude. Like, if my company was that big, I can't imagine... Even in quarantine times, canceling it, making up a Indian reservation or island fight, private island fight, and now he is, by the way, buying a private island for future, like, so that way he doesn't have to worry about this problem anymore. So he's still going through with the island and the Indian reservation stuff.
Okay.
Even though it's now canceled. But, yeah, just don't even, switch it, then schedule it, then put out a card, undercards, main cards, then cancel it again, like... That's screw up shit, dude. For that big of a, it'd be like if NFL said they were going to do a game, then not do it, then do it. You don't do that. Somebody's got to make a real decision. And somebody needs to make a real decision after having had talked to people that make the real decisions, like maybe the channel that would be hosting it.
Jen wants to know if you think we're going to race this year.
Yes. Optimistically thinking. But I did want to talk about, does everybody think that NASCAR is going to race this year? I guess they'll just go into the wintertime? How does that work? What does everybody think? I still don't have this pulled up, like I said.
Well, they have a longer season than you guys do anyway, right? So they could potentially... Because weren't we talking about how some of the guys were saying we should be doing like Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, or what, like condense the season instead of doing
more
just
races during the
races?
weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, instead of doing weekly, just do them like MLB, like race all the time. And I agree with that, but I don't know if they'll do that because... be a lot of traveling, and there's a lot more to move around than.
Oh, I mean, there's a lot of logistics to it, but certainly there's a lot of money to lose if they don't run the season. You know what I mean? Like.
Oh yeah, I mean, a ton of money. That's what I'm saying. It's just not to down talk on baseball or football. It's just you don't just have to move the team. You got 2 race cars, all the haulers, all the tools.
Oh yeah, but they'd be doing that anyway.
Yeah, but how are you going to convince your hauler guys that? Because the hauler guys, the cup guys get to go home in between these races. A lot of these hauler guys, they don't get much time off. They might get a day or 2 off, and then they have to start getting on the road again. So now you tell them they don't have another day off for the next forever. I don't know how that's going to go with them. I guess they could rotate or something, but
I don't know.
It sounds worrisome.
Pay them enough money.
Yeah, during a recession though. That's what I'm saying.
Even
I don't know.
more, yeah.
I don't know how all that works. I don't know how that would go. But let me know what y'all think. Like I said, do y'all think NASCAR will even...
Fuller's all about it. He says, yes, NASCAR will race. They're talking about doing Wednesday races.
Wednesday and Sunday or Saturday, I guess is what he's saying? Like an in-between? I wonder if this can be on loud.
What, your phone?
My laptop. I finally found the video so I can see what everybody's doing, but... What else were we going to talk about? Ooh, go ahead.
The bonus episode of Tiger King is coming out tomorrow. I'm so excited.
Is it tomorrow or tonight at midnight dropping hot? Or is it like a West Coast midnight so we don't know what fudge?
That's a really good question. TJ says this isn't a recession, we're getting a stimulus.
Yo, you're an essential, TJ. So. Quarantine.
Every time.
Well, I didn't mean to do that.
Y'all, every time Ethan watches a video on his phone, it is as loud as it could possibly be. It could be first thing in the morning and he goes to watch some stupid TikTok video on Facebook and it is like...
A TikTok video?
I don't know,
on Facebook.
dude.
I was saying, I don't have a TikTok.
It's so loud every time.
She's not that wrong about that. I do have a problem with
Not
having my
wrong at
phone
all,
on
dude.
full blast all the time. Jennifer Allen said, who cares about NASCAR? How long did she say that? I'm just now catching up.
A couple minutes ago. I didn't want to offend you. Let her know. Let you know that she said that.
You need to offend me. That's how I react. Why is she so negative this year, Jennifer?
Because she hasn't had her racing.
Yeah, but she's
going
making
into
it worse.
withdrawals.
She's
having
leaning into
symptoms
it.
of withdrawals.
Yeah, but she's not making it any better.
Wow.
You make it sound like we're never going to race again.
We're all grieving this quarantine differently.
I guess so.
Megan's still not watched Tiger King. Can we all attack her for that for a second?
Yeah. Everybody go and personally message Megan McGrath and let her know that you want to fist fight her because she hasn't watched Tiger King. But really, though.
But apparently it's supposed to be like a reunion episode. Like, it's not going to be like the rest of this season. It's going to be like, like... And I hate to use this comparison because I don't watch the show, but it's the only thing that I can think of. But I think it's going to be like, oh my God, Rodney Davis.
What did you say?
Tiger King was a waste of 7 hours of my life that I'll never get back.
It didn't take that long. It was 7 episodes, and all of them were way less than an hour, Rodney Davis. But I agree. I'll never get that time back either, but I loved it. And the fact that you're lying and saying that you didn't like it makes me think that you should watch the show You. Which I don't know if you know about that. We've talked about that show earlier on this podcast.
Junk.
And apparently it's really good. That's what everybody else says. I mean, we are or we're overpowered, babe. But, like, everybody says it's good, and we both say it's bad.
Ooh.
What?
Lindsay said that Megan was getting the Tiger King mullet. She keep playing. It's gonna happen. She needs to watch the show where she's getting
Kate
Tiger
got
King
one,
mullet.
Right?
Kate just dyed her hair.
She's not gonna watch this anyway.
Jennifer is adamant that You is a great show, and I just...
Now, her and Bud both love it.
I can't get behind it.
Mine won't, like... Actually, what else were we going to talk about? Tiger King.
So it's like a reunion episode. So all I can think of to compare it to, and this is just my expectation, is that it's going to be like a Real Housewives reunion episode with Andy Cohen, where they all just yell at each other from 2 couches.
Well, Joe Exotic's in jail.
Well, he can FaceTime. We have Zoom now. It's a thing.
Shit
Everybody's
show.
got to be separate because of quarantine anyway.
Did you ever get any stories earlier from what you pulled? What has quarantine made you do?
No. If anybody has really good
Y'all
stuff...
are the worst fans ever, dude. Okay? I'm just kidding, but
So rude.
really, it is rude. But they're rude by not... Y'all just stiff arm us, just like blank
Maybe
us.
they're all being bored. Maybe they've done nothing exciting.
Say that.
And they're all just drinking. Maybe that's why.
Yeah. I shotgunned 2 beers at once. I didn't do that, but I mean, type something. Surely you've done something, guys. Good God, what, I gotta get a pry bar out? I've got one over there. And I will take it to that camera, dude. God,
He won't.
I won't. Y'all really make me mad, though. Not
I mean,
really. They don't, but I'm gonna keep on playing that role because until at least we get one person.
Brad said all of us are essential workers. LOL, life ain't changed.
That's true.
That's a fair point.
I don't have a single quarantined person on this podcast following, so
I think
my bad.
Megan's
Good
the
point,
only
Brad
one.
Diggs.
Well, and Lindsay's stuck at home too because she's not essential.
So what you done, Lindsay?
It's just Megan. And
You're on the hot seat now.
And Megan, actually, I feel bad for her because most of her job is digital anyway, so she's literally just been working.
Yeah. We feel so bad for Megan. Her life is so hard.
Non-Tiger King watching Megan.
Yeah, she doesn't even have time to watch Tiger King.
Oh,
She's so busy. What?
Lindsay's also disappointed that you're not, like, dressed up for Easter. She said you should have been wearing a bunny costume tonight.
You still haven't said what you've done during this quarantine, Lindsay, so until you say something, I don't even want to hear it. I was supposed to be here, but I was supposed to get... Ooh! Never mind. This is the same thing I said earlier. See, I got excited there, though, like it was going to be an ooh! Who's the hottest chick in the world for all you guy listeners? I guess we can do a hottest... Did I say who's the hottest guy in the world? What did I say?
What did you say? Did you just
Hello.
get excited?
Who's the hottest girl in the world for all you guy listeners? And I guess we can do a who's the hottest guy for all the girl listeners, even though we have 3. But
Who do you think is the hottest girl in the world?
I don't know. I should have probably thought about that before I asked this question. But
We're not
Jennifer
prepared.
Aniston, I feel like is going to be one of the ones. But don't. I mean, I guess she can be one of the answers. But
She can get it. She's beautiful.
Yeah, but she's I mean, hottest girl in the world. That's what I'm
Fuller
asking.
says Ariana Grande. She's like...
She's doing
12.
black fishing. Have you heard about this?
She's not doing blackfishing.
Yes, she is. Google it.
I know what you're talking about.
She's doing it.
She's tan. She's Italian.
No, I know, but then she started blackfishing to make her more tan. Real far. Blackfishing is where you literally, like, you know what Michael Jackson did when he made his skin white? It's like that, but reverse. That would be white fishing. Blackfishing is
Ooh,
like
Sophia
extreme
Bush.
tanning that
Lindsay
like
said
gets you
Sophia
forever.
Bush. She's beautiful.
Lindsay said what?
Sophia Bush,
About what?
hottest girl.
Who's Sophia Bush?
I think she was on One Tree Hill, one of those like soapy shows.
Yeah, I don't know her. She definitely can't be the hottest girl in the world if I don't even know who she is. She actually could be, because I don't know anything about like TV and all that kind of stuff. I mean, LC used to be hot back in the day. Lauren Conrad, if we're going to talk about TV shows. Is that her name?
She's still hot.
Yeah, she's probably like 60 now. Not that she's probably hot at 60, but in the world.
She's our age. What are you talking about?
No way. What else does somebody say? I feel
She's
like there's some
literally
laughter
like
and I got
maybe
nothing in
30.
there.
Wait, hang on. My phone is different than. I want to give proper credit to who said that. Rodney Davis says Carol freaking Baskins.
Is the hottest girl in the world? Dude, I was at work the other day, and somebody said something about Carol Baskins. And this other chick walked in and she says, she didn't kill her husband. I turned, I said, are you the type of person that takes Carol Baskin's side? Like, I was serious.
Who said that?
I don't want to tell you right now, I don't even name blast somebody. But still, it was like,
I mean, somebody that.
I've never met anybody in my life until that moment that was like, no, I don't think Carol Baskins did it.
They
like,
literally reopened the murder case.
Yeah. The law thinks she did it, dude. You don't think she did it? O.J. Simpson thinks she did it.
Hollywood, can you
guys.
specify? Are you talking about Sophia Bush or Carol Baskins when you say she's smoking? Because
Or Samantha Bush.
we're gonna. Samantha Bush is so
I don't think she's hot.
skinny.
Yeah, I don't think she's hot. I think my oldest brother is obsessed with her. Hopefully he's not watching. Or his wife. She won't care. I'm kidding. Mine's not updating though.
Well, you still haven't given us who you think. You're a big Reese Witherspoon fan.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go with I'm gonna have to agree, Carol Baskins.
So gross.
Oh man, that's such
I
a
mean,
good
the
question.
one husband, Travis was really cute.
Who?
Even though he wasn't Travis. Joe's third husband?
The one that committed suicide?
Yeah. He was really cute even though he was methed out and gay for pay, I guess that would technically be.
Wow, I've never even heard that term. Is that
You've
a term?
never heard the term gay for pay?
No.
I'm a little bit ashamed that I know that term, but.
That was another thing I wanted to mention, which is probably not on my
Ooh,
notes.
Brad Diggs, Carrie Underwood. Yes.
Mm-mm.
She's beautiful.
She is. Oh no, all these people that are going to be mentioned, other than Carol Baskins obviously, are going to be 9s. But I'm talking not the 10, the 11.
Well, who is that then?
Well, to each his own.
But so you can't call all these
That's
people
why I said.
9s.
That's why I said I should have thought about this before I.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go with
You don't even know. You have not put any thought into this.
Who's the chick from The Wolf of Wall Street and the Joker?
Oh, Margot Ruthie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe.
She's beautiful.
Although that or
She's a really good actress too.
there's one. We'll just leave it with that one. Does anybody else got anything? I mean, other than Brad. Thanks, Brad Diggs, for playing along.
TJ
Lindsay
said
still hasn't told us what she did during quarantine, or did she?
No, but she says Carrie's always a top 5. For sure. I totally agree with Carrie with Carrie comment.
None of y'all's votes
She's
count.
beautiful.
Brad's does. Not to be sexist. But it was. That's...
She also says you totally opened a can of worms, and you better say Tina.
Well, that's obvious.
Who is Christy Mack?
I don't know. That's not a very inviting way to say that.
Sorry. BJ just commented it and it caught me off guard because I have no...
I think that's a... I thought somebody joined named Christy Mack. Like, Christy Mack is watching. You're like, who's Christy Mack?
Oh my god, BJ.
Yeah, I think it's an adult film
She
star.
is... Yeah, she's a porn
Have you ever
star.
checked out Ethan Ayres, BJ? Google that, buddy. Google that. And
He
if it
says
says
she's a
something
great
about,
actress.
Let's say if it says something about Speedway, that's not the one that I'm talking about.
No,
that's
it's
probably
Ethan,
something to do with me.
It's Ethan Ayres 6'9".
Well, that's just his Twitter handle.
Yeah.
I'm saying just Google Ethan Ayres and see which adult, and maybe he's probably getting older by now. This was 10 years ago. I'm sure he's still around. He's got a Twitter. He's young enough to have a Twitter.
If you Google his name, or if you Google that name, he's still the first one that comes up. Maybe if you get famous enough, you'll be the first. I Googled...
I was just making a joke.
Maybe if you get more famous than him, you'll be the first Google result, and it won't be a porn star anymore.
Dang. What am I going to have to do? What was that quote you used earlier?
I don't know.
Gay for pay?
Yeah.
Maybe that's what he's doing, and that's why he got his fame. I ain't doing that.
Yeah, no. That's... No.
Alright, well. Nobody else is going to... Oh, I was going to give a shout out to Sports Bar Podcast. They're based in Richmond, Virginia. I asked some people, I think on episode 0 or 1, keep on referring back now, I feel like it's the 4th time, but what were some podcasts that y'all listened to, and if there were any of them from Virginia, or especially Richmond? Obviously, Jack Dodson's page is from Langley, or Virginia Beach, or whatever you want to call it, so, I mean, that was the one that I gave y'all. So y'all still haven't given me anything. If there's any... One guy I talked to at work, he watches a, Washington Capitals, Redskins type thing. That's up in Northern Virginia or Washington, so that's close enough. All I had to do was ask him, and he just gave me his answer, so just say no. You can just say no. I don't know of any in Virginia. That'd be fine, too. But if you just ghost me, it's like, doesn't help me at all. Oh yeah, so Sports Bar Podcast. And their page is actually pretty cool because it's like a group member thing, so you actually have to join, but you can upload onto their page.
Commitment.
Well, I think that fans can upload onto our page because I haven't changed the privacy settings, but nobody's tried to, so we don't have to worry about that. But they've actually got a lot of followings, but like I said, a lot of people can post right on the page and create topics, and the hosts will actually text in or comment in and give their input, which is cool, but
That is pretty cool.
I don't know, maybe once all this stuff stops they'll have me on. They talk all football, rap, mostly sports, but mostly football and rap. They're cool though. I've watched a couple of them, and their general posts and memes and topics or questionnaires or surveys that they post or that their fans post are actually pretty entertaining because they are, they have a big fan basis that sees all kinds of different things that will actually share on there, and then like I said, people vote in, and it gets pretty saturated in the comment sections with people talking shit back and forth that way.
It's always fun to watch.
Who was the hottest woman? Brad Diggs is the only one that said. All right, well, Brad Diggs
No,
the winner. What
a
did
lot
he
of
say?
a lot of people chimed in that they agreed with Carrie Underwood. She's smoking.
All right, so who was the hottest guy? What did the girls say? Any girls?
I can't think of anybody off the top of my head. Gosh. I don't know. Like,
What is Lindsay? Well, how did Lindsay give us a girl, not a guy yet? You're really
girls can
drying me out here, dude.
I feel like it's almost easier for girls to appreciate other girls than it is for girls to appreciate guys.
Well, that's fine. That's not what I asked for. No, I'm just kidding. Not to be.
God, you're so needy.
I know.
I don't.
I would
and
say
it,
it's
like,
simple,
also
but it
depends
took
a
me
little bit on my
minute, but-
mood too. Like,
Okay. I
you
could
know,
agree with that.
you know what I
And
mean?
granted,
Like,
I thought of one and I was like, that'll do good enough, and just laid it out there. I was like, I'm not even going to think about it anymore, but even that. What do you think, Lindsay?
I mean, and I'm trying to think, like, of. She has stepped away for the minute. She'll be right back.
Unacceptable.
Oh, Channing Tatum is hot, Jennifer. You're right.
There you go, Jennifer. Thanks. Only
And he used to be a stripper.
in a movie.
No, that was a true story about his life. He actually stripped.
Okay. I think I did know that, actually.
Google it.
No, I think I did know that. Well, I didn't know it, but I think I had heard something like that.
Yeah,
Probably
that was
you'd
like
told
legit
me.
his life story. Like, that movie was all about him.
I haven't seen it today.
Ronnie Davis is
Watched it
all the
yesterday,
girls,
though.
like the guy from SWAT. Hang on, I need to Google
The
that.
guy from SWAT.
Yeah.
Is that a movie or a show?
I'm Googling it. It's a show on CBS.
What's his demeanor? It's hard for me to even ask questions because I don't care at all.
have no idea.
But,
Are you talking about...
and
Oh,
Rodney Davis gave us this.
He is good
Thanks.
looking.
We got the granted Brad gave us the Carrie Underwood, but I think Lindsay had said something about it before that even, and now Rodney Davis gave us the hottest guy. So thank you to all my
Moore.
questionable sexuality friends. But what?
Oh my gosh, you are so rigid.
I know. I'm just kidding with you guys. Though.
He's good looking. He's a little too pretty for me.
Yeah.
He kind of looks
Ain't
like
with
a...
them pretty boys.
But it also depends on my mood, because he kind of looks like Usher. But like a little bit more chiseled. He's cute.
I haven't seen Usher in a long time. I can't remember what he looks like that much.
Well, he's aged.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
I
think.
seen R. Kelly on the news not too long ago. He seems to stay pretty relevant.
He's trying.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's like a... And I'll always be a fan of Orlando Bloom. He's so beautiful, and
Yeah,
he's got
when
that great chin line.
Yeah. I was gonna say for you, it was gonna be the guy from Tom Hardy. Is that his name?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. He's smoking. Yep, you're totally right.
See, I knew yours. You should know mine. How offensive.
Just any generic white blonde.
Gotta be blonde. I see. Ooh, oh no, I already did that one too. Ooh. What
Yeah,
was there
Conor
anybody else other
McGregor,
than
too.
was there anybody else other than Carrie Underwood though?
Jackson Avery from Grays. Let's see. I need to Google him too. I don't know any of these people. Oh yeah, he is gorgeous.
Grey's Anatomy.
Yep. Yeah. He's
I don't watch the
adorable.
show.
He's also a little pretty for me, but he is gorgeous.
Yeah, they're doctors. Essential, but
Yeah, Heidi Diggs says great. Jackson Avery. He's
oh, Heidi Diggs said that.
yeah.
Is she the one that initially said that?
Or Jesse Williams. Yeah.
Jesse Williams. That's what I was saying. It's hard for me to care about that half of the segment because I don't care at all.
That's the actor's name.
Oh, okay. Same guy then.
Yeah. He was in, wasn't he, like, in Desperate Housewives or something?
I don't know.
I don't know.
All right. Well, we talked about it earlier. We haven't had one less than an hour yet, anyway. So
Oh, yeah, that's true.
probably a perfect time to wrap it up, I guess. Unless did anybody comment they were watching from out of town? I'll shout them out real quick.
No, I think we're all local this evening.
We were going to give it another shout out to Sarah K. Speed Shots, our proud sponsor of the show.
As always.
We got a new
thank
sponsor
you.
coming in. The stuff's not here yet, but Coast to Coast Design Company. Shout out to Brandon Bowen. Not sure. Hopefully next episode or the episode after, maybe the shipment will be in. I don't want to tell y'all what it is yet, but go check out his page. He makes all kinds of flags. Anything you want, really. A lot of military style flags, but anything and everything. He's got a 3D cutting machine. I should be looking at it to know what it's called, but my phone's also on airplane mode, so fancy machine that he can do all kinds of stuff with, and he's been doing it for a couple years now anyway. So he's sending me some stuff over. Excited about that. Hope y'all have a fabulous Sunday. Maybe see you next Saturday again.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter. Hope all y'all and the kiddos have fun doing Easter egg hunts. Hope y'all had fun coloring Easter eggs today. That's what Amelia did, which then she proceeded to carry all the eggs around like they were babies and called them her babies. And then she wanted to have the eggs all over our couches.
Yeah, she like made a little.
Not
nest.
wanted to, she had them all over our couches. It was like, yeah. So then as people were getting up and getting down, they're getting smushed and it was disgusting. So we had to, none of them cracked, thank God, but it was about to get disgusting. So we had to put an eggs day to that. But it was fun. Hope y'all have a good Easter. Give us a shout out. I wanted y'all to ask me some questions. I didn't get much, but I had one other question I asked, I thought, during this, but I'll try to, if I think of it, I'll post it on there maybe on Wednesday or Thursday.
We can talk about it next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure next week we'll have a new Tiger King episode to talk about.
Also, Lindsay, we're acting like we're old because I am old as hell.
Dude, I've got so many gray hairs, Lindsay, you don't even know.
And yeah, you're right, Taylor Kinney is super hot.
I don't know who that is either. I don't know any of these guys.
Come on.
I know. I don't watch enough TV. Alright, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Tune in again next week. Share this, please.
Like the page. Yada, yada, yada. Do all the
like
things.
the page. Mostly just share it. Because if you share it, you probably have about 900 friends that I don't have. And maybe they will see it and come like the page. So I don't want to sound like a YouTuber without a YouTube page. But just like it. Share it if you can. Thanks, guys. I still can't get this.
I almost couldn't get out of the chair.